But here's the story, very strange story, told about the Rebbe Rishab. The Rebbe Rishab was the fifth Rebbe of Chabad, and he tells a story about when he was a child. When he was a child, his father once woke him up and asked him if he had a dream. It seems he was talking in his sleep, and he said yes. So he said, repeat the dream. So he said, in my dream, the Baal Shem Tov came to me, and he told me a story. But this is the Rebbe Rishab, Rabbi Shalom Dovber. He passed away in 1920. He was the fifth Rebbe of Chabad, and he's telling a story of a dream that he saw when he was a child. He said, the Baal Shem Tov came to me in my dream, and he told me a story. And the story that he told me was like this: that once when he was walking in the street, the Baal Shem Tov, and the Baal Shem Tov, the Baal Shem Tov said that he accepted on himself. No, walking through the street, and he saw someone, a simple Jew, walking through the street, and there was a fire burning over his head, a fire of holiness. And he was very amazed. Simple Jew. So he thought this Jew must be a tremendously high, holy tzaddik that he didn't know about, because the Baal Shem Tov had certain powers of seeing that were just incomparable. He could just see the essence of the soul of everybody. And this person, he didn't understand what was going on. So he decided, he prayed, he asked God for an answer. No answer came. He asked around who this person was. People said he's a simple guy who helps. That was so simple. So he fasted. The Baal Shem Tov fasted and prayed. We don't do this nowadays, but he fasted and he prayed. And he fasted and he prayed. One of the days when he was on his, I guess every day he didn't eat whatever, only in the nighttime, he ate very minimum amount. And he prayed. One day he was just finished his prayers. He came out, and this fellow, the simple guy, came over to him and said to the Baal Shem Tov, the one that had the fire, the simple guy who had the fire on his head, came over to the Baal Shem Tov, and he said, you look like you're very tired. Would you like to come over to my house and have something to eat? So the Baal Shem Tov said, yes, I would like to. He figured now is the chance he's going to ask him, where does this holiness come from? So he comes to the person's house and he opens up the door, and there's goats there, goats, female goats. And they're jumping all over him, and they're licking his face, and they're happy to see him. And he sits one of the goats down, and he milks the goat, and gives the Baal Shem Tov to drink the milk. And the Baal Shem Tov feels enlivened. He gives him another glass, and the Baal Shem Tov said, who are you? What are you doing? So he said, I want to tell you something. The reason I stopped you today was because my wife, of blessed memory, she was such a holy woman. She passed away a few years ago. She left me alone. And she used to do so many good deeds. She was just such a wonderful person. And she told me that today I would meet a holy man, and he would teach me. He would teach me Torah. So say, your wife appeared to you in a dream and told you that you would meet me? She said, yes. My wife appears to me, tells me good things. She says, see all these goats here? These goats, my wife passed away. I said to myself, who's going to do all the good deeds my wife used to do? She used to go and visit the sick and help the people. So my wife said, you do the good deeds, buy yourself some goats and take care of the goats. And with the milk the goats and give the milk to people that are sick or that are poor or whatever. And and that's what I do. The whole day, these goats are outside. Today, I went outside. I put the goats into the house so that they'll be easily accessible. I can give you milk. So the Baal Shem Tov said, well, that's just really amazing. That's really amazing. You know what? Come with your wife said that I'll teach you. I will. I'm willing to teach you Torah. I'm willing to teach you Torah. So they took him into the holy, what do they call it? The holy group, not the holy academy. There's a word for it. Anyway, the holy chevra. It's a word what my left in my mind. It said, so we'll take you into the holy group. There's a holy group of tzaddikim, hidden tzaddikim, and you can be one of them. And we'll teach you Torah. So it ends up this Herschel Tzeg was a lot more not hard-headed, I guess, thick-headed than they thought. He could not read anything. He couldn't get anything. No matter how many times they repeated over to him, barely after they learned with him. These are the greatest minds in the world. And they couldn't teach him the end of like a month of learning. All he had barely learned was the Aleph Beit. But he kept at it. He kept at it. And one day, suddenly, his mind just opened up, and everything that he heard, everything that he read, everything he just absorbed, everything, and he became a big holy tzaddik, a big holy tzaddik. And he went around with the holy group, the holy chevra, and they went blessing people and teaching people and etc. etc. That's what they did. Jews, they went around and woke up Jews all over. It says, but the end of it is a strange ending. And this Baal Shem Tov says the story. He's telling the Rebbe Rashab when he's a boy in his dream, right? And he says that Herschel one day he passed away, and he passed away. And it was a rainy day, and this Herschel had always kept it to himself. All the good deeds that he didn't advertise. And it ended up that the day that he passed away, it was like a rainy day. It was a miserable day, and it was barely did they manage to get a minyan, 10 Jews, to attend his funeral. Barely. They had to pay some Jews to attend his funeral. And that, and just simple Jews that they didn't have anything to do anyway, and they attended his funeral. And in heaven, there was a big anger. And they got angry. How could it be that it's a person that was so righteous and he devoted himself so much and he sacrificed for himself so much in order to help other people his whole entire life? And now, when he passed away, there couldn't even be a minyan for these people. So therefore, it was decreed in heaven that there was going to be a plague on that town, a plague on the town. And Herschel's wife, she had already passed away. Herschel's wife, she came before the heavenly court, that they're the ones that make all these decisions, the heavenly court. And she said, how could you possibly do such a thing like that? And my husband, his whole life was only devoted to do good and to help people. And now you're going to make a plague because of my husband. My husband never demanded any honor or any attention whatsoever from all the good things he did. Everything he did was only between him and God. And now you want to say that because he didn't get attention, that you're going to make a plague on the city? That's exactly the opposite of what husband said. And sure enough, the decree was rescinded, and the Jews were in that town were only blessed with all of the blessings of Herschel Tzaddik. So was the story told by the Baal Shem Tov to the Rebbe Rashab as a boy in a dream. Have a good day with Mashiach now. See you all tomorrow, God willing.